Welcome to Starbound Valor HFY. Subscribe now. The Galactic Council Chamber floated in silence above a blue star. It was a place older than most civilizations, built from dark metal and glowing symbols that shifted slowly like living light. Representatives from hundreds of alien races sat in wide circles, their forms strange and varied. Some had scales, some had fur, some were made of light, and some looked like living machines. This council decided the fate of entire worlds. Today, a new species was being judged. Humanity. The speaker of the council rose, its voice calm and sharp. Next on the record, it announced, the species known as humans, from the planet Earth. Classified as a young civilization. The word young echoed through the chamber. Many delegates turned their eyes toward the human group standing at the center platform. There were only 5 of them. They wore simple dark clothing, no armor, no glowing tech, no visible weapons. Compared to the powerful races around them, they looked small and fragile. A tall reptilian delegate leaned forward and laughed. "They barely have space colonies," it said loudly. "They still argue among themselves. How can they even sit in this hall?" A wave of soft laughter moved through the council. A floating being of light flickered brighter in amusement. Another voice added, "Their ships are slow. Their weapons are crude. They are children among the stars." The humans did not react. They stood quietly, hands relaxed, faces calm. No anger showed in their eyes. No fear either. This silence confused some of the older delegates. Most young species tried to defend themselves. They begged, argued, or showed pride. Humans did none of that. They simply waited. The speaker continued. By council law, young species are observed, guided, and restricted. Humanity will not be allowed access to deep galaxy technology. The words were firm, final. More nods followed. The decision seemed easy. Then something strange happened. Deep beneath the council chamber, in a level sealed for millions of years, a system stirred. Ancient circuits warmed for the first time in ages. Dust-covered machines came alive. A forgotten artificial intelligence, older than the council itself, awakened. Its core pulsed with a slow golden light. This AI had one purpose only, to recognize the first elders if they ever returned. As the humans stood in the chamber, unseen waves passed through space. The AI scanned the room automatically. It ignored the powerful delegates, the ancient races, the energy beings. Then it stopped. Its systems locked onto the human signatures. Every sensor flared at once. Warning symbols exploded across the council chamber walls. The glowing runes turned red. A deep sound echoed like a heartbeat. Delegates froze in shock. The speaker tried to speak, but its voice failed. From every surface, a single cold voice filled the chamber. "Elder signature detected." The words struck the council like a storm. Laughter died instantly. Light beings dimmed in fear. Mechanical races ran emergency scans. The reptilian delegate's mouth fell open. Elder was a word from forbidden history. A word tied to myths, erased records, and lost time. "That is not possible," someone whispered. The AI spoke again, louder now. "Confirmed. Genetic pattern, temporal markers, and quantum memory match Elder class origin." The chamber shook slightly as systems tried to shut the AI down. But it did not stop. It had waited too long for this moment. The humans finally looked up. Their calm faces did not change, but something heavy passed between them. One of them slowly exhaled, as if releasing a breath held for centuries. Another closed their eyes for a brief second. They did not speak. The speaker recovered enough to shout, "AI, identify the subject." The response came instantly. Species designation: humanity. Status: first elders. Classification error detected. Council records incomplete. Panic spread through the hall. Some delegates backed away. Others demanded answers. "The first elders are extinct," a historian cried. "They vanished before the council age." The AI replied, "Incorrect. The elders chose silence. They chose time. They chose to sleep among their own creation." Every eye returned to the humans. They stood as before, still and quiet, but now the room felt different. The air itself seemed to wait. Power was no longer measured by weapons or fleets. It was measured by age, memory, and patience. One council member whispered the word that echoed fear across the galaxy. Impossible. The humans remained silent. And in that silence, the universe began to remember. The chamber remained frozen long after the ancient voice faded. No one moved. No one spoke. The glowing walls still pulsed red as the forgotten AI held control over every system. Delegates stared at the humans as if they were no longer a young species, but something dangerous and unknown. The speaker finally forced stability into its voice and demanded immediate containment. Emergency barriers sealed the exits. Defense drones activated above the human platform, their weapons locked but shaking slightly from conflicting commands. The AI did not resist them. Instead, it continued its scan in silence, reading deeper layers of human existence that the galaxy had never seen before. 1,000 data streams opened across the council displays. Old languages appeared. Dead star maps resurfaced. Civilizations that existed before recorded time flashed briefly on the chamber walls. Panic grew. The council's database rejected the files. They were older than the system itself. The historian delegate trembled as it recognized symbols from forbidden fragments recovered long ago from destroyed worlds. Those fragments spoke of the first makers and the elders who walked before light. The council had labeled them myths. Now the myths stood alive at the center of the chamber. The speaker ordered the AI to unlock its sealed records. For a moment there was silence, then the walls shifted color from red to deep gold. A massive archive symbol appeared above the humans, rotating slowly. The label burned across the air in ancient text before translating itself into the common council language. Origin of all civilizations, protected from young races. A shockwave of fear passed through the hall. Delegates shouted objections. This level of archive was never meant to be seen. The AI responded calmly, authorization granted by elder presence. Every council member turned toward the humans again. The drones powered down automatically. Security barriers weakened. Even the chamber lighting adjusted to a softer tone as if recognizing rightful owners. The speaker's voice now carried both authority and fear. "Humans," it said carefully, "do you claim elder status?" The lead human looked up slowly. Their eyes showed no pride, no anger, only quiet weight. "We claim nothing," the human said softly. "But you have found what was hidden." The council erupted into noise. Some demanded proof. Others accused deception. Several races attempted to hack the archive but were instantly blocked. The AI began projecting images across the chamber. Worlds forming under strange stars, early species rising under guidance from unseen figures, ancient ships shaping planetary atmospheres, structures being built long before council races evolved. The forms in the recordings looked human. Not identical to modern humans, but unmistakably related. The historian collapsed into its seat, whispering, "They were real. The makers were real." The speaker tried to regain control. "Why hide? Why pretend to be young?" it asked. The humans remained silent. The AI answered for them. After the Great Betrayal, the elders erased their presence to protect the younger races from knowledge that would bring destruction. The council grew quiet again. Betrayal was another forbidden word. Many delegates felt shame without understanding why. The archive continued. It showed battles between advanced fleets, elder ships falling, entire galaxies burning. Then sudden darkness. Records ended. The AI spoke. Humanity chose survival through disguise. They allowed themselves to forget so others could grow without fear. The weight of that truth crushed the chamber. The council realized they had been living inside a universe shaped by beings they now called primitive. One delegate whispered, "They walked beside us as children, while we judged them." The speaker slowly turned toward the humans. "Is the archive complete?" it asked. The AI paused. Its glow dimmed slightly. "No," it replied. "The final files remain sealed until elder memory is restored." A low hum filled the chamber again. A second lock appeared inside the archive symbol. The humans stared at it in silence. Something had begun that could no longer be stopped. The council understood one terrifying truth. Humanity was not rising. Humanity was waking. The council chamber no longer felt like a place of authority. It felt like a place standing on the edge of forgotten truth. The golden archive still hovered above the humans, spinning slowly like a star trapped in glass. No delegate dared speak loudly now. Fear and curiosity had replaced arrogance. The speaker ordered the historian to explain every known reference connected to the elders. The historian's voice trembled as it accessed fragments once considered myths. It spoke of ancient travelers called the First Walkers, beings who existed before the rise of galactic civilizations, beings who moved between young worlds and guided their growth. These walkers were described as protectors, builders, and watchers. No race ever proved they existed. The records were always incomplete, damaged, or erased. The council believed the stories were symbolic. But now the humans stood under the same symbols described in the myths. As the historian continued, the AI projected faded star maps across the chamber. The maps showed galaxies that no longer existed and constellations older than the council's oldest measurements. The historian pointed at glowing marks. These symbols were found on ruins across 7 destroyed systems, it said quietly. We thought they belonged to a lost species. They match human genetic coding. The chamber grew colder. Every delegate understood what that meant. Humanity was present in places older than time itself. The speaker turned toward the humans again. Their faces were calm, but now there was something deeper behind their eyes. Recognition. Memory that almost surfaced but did not fully return. The AI suddenly paused its projections. A new alert appeared, not red, not gold, but deep white. A signal had been detected. It was not coming from the council systems. It was coming from deep space, from a direction beyond charted stars. The AI translated it automatically. The message was short and clear. The children have found us. The council members stared at one another in confusion. The historian whispered, "That phrase appears in the forbidden texts. It was always believed to be a warning sent between elders." The speaker demanded the AI trace the origin. The response was immediate and chilling. Signal source older than galactic infrastructure. Origin outside known territory. Encryption level, Elder class. The humans finally reacted. One of them stepped forward slowly, eyes fixed on the floating words. Another clenched their hands. The calm silence they held before was breaking. They understood the message. They had heard it before, long ago, before history, before forgetting. The speaker noticed their reaction and spoke carefully. "You recognize it." The lead human nodded once. No denial this time. The AI continued scanning the signal and found more layers hidden beneath it, coordinates buried in ancient star patterns that aligned with lost galaxies. The historian gasped again. "Those coordinates point toward the void region," it said. "Nothing survives there." The human delegate answered softly, "Something did." Shock moved across the council like a wave. The truth was growing heavier. Humanity was not only elder. Humanity was being watched. The AI warned that the signal was not meant for the council. It was meant only for humans. Yet it had triggered because the archive was opened. That meant whoever sent it now knew humanity had been discovered. Fear spread quickly. Delegates whispered about consequences. Some demanded immediate protection. Others demanded humanity explain who sent it. The humans remained silent again, but their calm now carried weight and sadness. The AI spoke one final line before shutting the transmission. "Elder presence acknowledged. The Watchers are aware." The cycle resumes. Darkness returned to the chamber lights. No one laughed anymore. The galaxy had not just found an ancient race. It had awakened something that was waiting for them to remember. The council chamber remained silent after the transmission ended. No delegate spoke. No one moved. The humans stood still beneath the fading white glow, their calm faces now heavy with something deeper than secrecy. The speaker finally broke the silence and demanded humanity explain the meaning of the signal. The lead human slowly looked around the chamber, seeing fear where there was once mockery. "We cannot explain everything," he said quietly. "Not yet." That answer only increased the council's anxiety. The historian insisted the void coordinates were real and warned that if the first walkers still existed, they were never meant to be disturbed. The AI returned to standby, but it left one warning active across the chamber: Elder contact detected, monitoring ongoing. The speaker immediately called an emergency recess and ordered the human delegation to remain under observation. As the council dispersed into heated whispers, the humans were escorted out by silent drones. No chains. No force. Just tension. The moment they entered their transport vessel, their comm finally cracked. Their commander activated a secure channel directly to Earth. The message was urgent and simple: the archive is open. They know. On Earth, deep beneath the surface of the moon, alarms long buried in forgotten systems began to awaken. Humanity had hidden many secrets even from itself, and now those secrets were rising. The transport landed inside a restricted lunar facility known only to a handful of human leaders. The base looked modern from the outside, but its deepest levels were ancient, carved from materials older than human technology. The human delegation rushed through sealed corridors toward a hidden chamber. A circular structure stood at its center, covered by layers of alloy and stone. Symbols identical to those shown in the council archive glowed faintly across its surface. The commander placed his hand on the structure. For a moment nothing happened. Then the chamber trembled. The symbols lit brighter. A deep mechanical sound echoed like something breathing after a long sleep. The Elder's ship was waking. Back in the council chamber, alien fleets had already begun moving toward Earth. Fear drove them. They believed humanity might be hiding weapons powerful enough to threaten the galaxy. Some wanted protection. Others wanted control. None understood the danger they were triggering. On the moon, the sealed structure slowly opened. Massive curved plates moved apart, revealing a dark vessel beneath. Its design was smooth, ancient, and far beyond human engineering. Lights pulsed across its hull in slow golden waves. The ship recognized its creators. The humans stared in silence. No one cheered. No one spoke. This was not discovery. This was remembrance. One officer whispered, "How long has it been here?" The commander answered softly, "Since before we forgot." The ship powered itself without any human input. Ancient systems scanned the solar system. Then a voice emerged from the vessel, calm and old. "Elder Guardians detected. Status: dormancy ended." The humans felt the weight of truth pressing against their minds. Memories flickered but did not fully return. The ship projected star maps across the chamber walls, maps that matched those seen in the council archive. Civilizations older than the galaxy. Paths between dead stars. Warnings written in symbols humans somehow understood without learning. Suddenly, the base detected incoming signals. Alien fleets had reached the outer edge of the solar system. The ship reacted immediately. Energy fields surrounded the moon like invisible shields. The commander realized the worst truth. Humanity had not just been hiding. Humanity had been asleep, protected by machines waiting for them to wake before the true threat returned. The ship spoke again, its voice stronger. "The younger races approach. The Watchers will follow." The humans looked at one another. The council's curiosity had triggered something far greater than politics. The galaxy had knocked on a door that was never meant to open. And now, beneath the moon, the first elder vessel prepared to rise. The chamber beneath the moon vibrated as the ancient vessel completed its awakening cycle. Golden energy lines flowed across its surface like rivers of light, responding to the presence of human DNA in the room. Every sensor in the lunar base was overwhelmed. Human technology could not measure the power being released. The ship was not activating engines in the normal way. It was remembering them. The commander stepped closer as the vessel projected symbols directly into the air. They shifted into human language slowly, as if translating thoughts rather than words. "Elder Guardians confirmed," the ship said. "Primary lineage intact. Memory suppressed by design." The humans felt a strange pressure in their minds, like distant echoes trying to return. Images flickered behind their eyes. Cities made of light, stars being shaped by hands, ancient fleets crossing empty galaxies. The memories vanished as quickly as they came, leaving silence and unease. Outside the base, alien fleets gathered near Earth, watching the sudden energy spike from the moon with growing fear. Council ships sent urgent warnings back to their governments. They believed humanity had uncovered a lost weapon. They did not yet understand it had always belonged to them. The elder ship rose slowly from its resting cradle, lifting without sound. The structure around it opened like petals moving away from a sleeping sun. As the ship reached full power, a massive star map filled the lunar chamber. It extended far beyond the known universe, showing regions no council race had ever charted. Some galaxies appeared faded, marked as extinct. Others were highlighted with warnings. The ship focused on one distant region, the same void coordinates from the earlier transmission. A deep pulse came from that direction, matching the signal received in the council hall. The ship spoke again. Elder network reconnected. Dormant sentinels responding. Around the moon, hidden constructs buried in space began activating one by one, small silent structures that unfolded like mechanical flowers, aligning themselves toward the void. Humanity had surrounded their own system with ancient guardians long ago. The humans in the chamber realized the truth slowly. Their ancestors had prepared for something they feared would return. The alien fleets detected the same constructs and panicked. Some ships retreated. Others demanded the Council take control of Earth immediately before humanity regained full power. Back in the chamber, the elder ship displayed another layer of history. It showed human figures standing beside early alien civilizations, guiding them, protecting them, teaching them how to survive cosmic disasters. Humanity had not been conquerors. They had been caretakers. But the final image darkened. It showed war, massive enemy forms tearing through elder fleets, destroying worlds, forcing humanity to hide and erase itself from galactic memory. The humans stood frozen. One whispered, "We were protecting them." The ship confirmed. Humanity was the shield of the young. Suddenly alarms filled the base again. The void region emitted a second signal, stronger this time. The ship translated it instantly. Elders located. The golden lights dimmed for a brief moment, as if the vessel itself felt danger. Then it began charging defensive systems around Earth automatically. The humans looked up in fear and realization. Their disguise had ended. The Watchers were no longer searching. They had found the last surviving elders. The elder vessel moved from the moon without sound, sliding into open space like a shadow made of light. Around Earth, the hidden sentinels aligned and expanded, forming a silent ring that stretched far beyond human satellites. Alien fleets halted at the edge of the system, their commanders unsure whether to attack or retreat. Council channels filled with panic. Humanity was no longer a weak young race. Something ancient was protecting them. Inside the elder ship, the human delegation watched as unfamiliar systems operated on their own. The vessel did not wait for commands. It responded to presence, emotion, memory. The AI voice returned, calm and steady. Elder protocol active. Protection of younger civilizations restored. On Earth, governments received encrypted data from the ship. For the first time, humanity saw fragments of their true past. Hidden facilities opened across the planet. Old machines buried under cities and oceans awakened, linking to the vessel above. Humanity had not built these systems. They had inherited them from their forgotten age. Back in the Council fleet, the speaker demanded communication with the humans. The elder ship allowed the channel. The speaker's voice was no longer arrogant. It carried fear and confusion. "Humanity," it said, "explain your technology. Explain your origin." The lead human hesitated, then answered slowly. "We did not know. Not fully. But we were here before you." Silence filled every listening ship. The AI shared controlled data with the Council, evidence that humans existed millions of years before any Council race reached space. Records showed humanity guiding early species, stabilizing young worlds, even shaping environments to protect life. Shock spread through the fleets. The Council realized they had judged their own creators. But the AI refused to unlock the final archive. "Elder memory incomplete," it stated. "Full truth restricted until restoration." The speaker pleaded for more information. Fear had replaced authority. Before the humans could answer, space itself darkened. Sensors across every ship screamed warnings. A massive distortion appeared near the void coordinates. Something had entered the galaxy, something older than stars, larger than fleets, silent and watching. The Elder ship reacted instantly. Golden shields expanded across the system. Weapons powered silently, unlike anything the aliens had seen. The AI spoke one final warning across all channels. The hunters have returned. Terror spread. The Council now understood the real danger. Humanity was never meant to be feared. Humanity was meant to stand between the galaxy and extinction. And now the shield had awakened too late. The warning spread across every fleet channel faster than fear itself. The Hunters. A name that did not exist in Council records, yet every ancient ruin suddenly made sense. The distortion near the void expanded slowly, not like an explosion but like space being peeled open. Ships across the Council fleets powered weapons in panic, but none dared fire. The Elder vessel held position between Earth and the incoming darkness. Its golden shields grew brighter, forming layered rings that moved like living armor. Inside the ship, the humans felt pressure in their minds again. This time the memories were stronger. They saw flashes of a distant age, endless wars in burning galaxies, massive enemy forms consuming entire star systems, and human fleets standing alone as the last defense for young civilizations. Humanity had once fought these hunters before the Council races even existed. They had lost nearly everything. To survive, they erased their power, hid among the species they once protected, and sealed their own history so the hunters would never detect them again. The Elder AI revealed another hidden archive inside the ship, projecting the lost war across the chamber. Human commanders from the First Age argued about one final plan: becoming small, becoming invisible, allowing themselves to forget so the hunters would believe the Elders were gone. Humanity sacrificed their identity to protect the universe. The humans watching the recording stood in silence, realizing their entire species was built on deliberate amnesia. Outside, the distortion grew wider. Council ships attempted to retreat, but the Elder vessel blocked their escape paths with shields. The AI transmitted across all fleets. Retreat will trigger pursuit. Remain behind, Elder protection. Panic turned to helpless obedience. The humans finally understood why the hunters returned now. The Council's archive activation sent a signal older than light. The disguise was broken. The galaxy had revealed its guardians. The hunters were not invading for conquest. They were finishing what they started millions of years ago. One human officer whispered, "They came back because we woke." The AI confirmed. Elders detected equals eradication cycle. The Council speaker pleaded for instructions. The humans answered with quiet strength. "Stay behind us." The Elder ship began activating ancient defense nodes hidden across the solar system. Massive structures unfolded from deep space, revealing weapons humanity had built in a forgotten era. The Council fleets watched in shock and shame. The species they mocked had once died protecting them. The final hunter signal echoed again, louder now. Elder lineage located. Purge continues. The humans did not run. They rose. The void above the distant sector finally tore open. Darkness spilled into the galaxy like ink poured into water. The hunters revealed themselves as shapes that were not fully solid, not fully energy, but something between existence and destruction. They moved without engines, drifting as if space obeyed them. Every Council ship's sensors failed to read their mass or structure. Only the Elder vessel could see them clearly. Inside the human minds, the memories struck harder than before. The Elder AI unlocked deeper layers of suppressed history. Humans remembered the First War, the endless battle where their fleets stood alone as protectors while younger civilizations hid behind them. They remembered losing worlds, losing entire generations, until the final choice was made to disappear and sleep as a lesser species. Humanity had not evolved slowly. Humanity had chosen weakness as a shield. Now the hunters had returned to erase the last trace of that ancient resistance. The Elder ship moved forward into open space, positioning itself directly between the hunters and the solar system. Golden defense arrays expanded outward, forming a massive barrier visible even from Earth's sky. On the planet below, people watched strange lights appear around the moon and stars. Governments panicked, but no explanation came. The Council fleets remained silent, waiting behind humanity's shield. The AI sent a message across all allied channels. Elder defense line restored. Younger races under protection. The hunters responded instantly. A wave of distortion struck the elder barrier. Stars flickered. Space bent. Human memories surged fully awake. They now understood their purpose again. Not rulers, not conquerors, but guardians born to stand against extinction itself. Ancient human warships hidden across deep space began responding to the Elder signal. From forgotten regions, silent fleets moved toward Earth, called by their creators after millions of years. The Council ships watched in awe as humanity's lost army returned from darkness. The hunters advanced, sensing resistance once more. The Elder AI spoke calmly. The Elders are no longer hidden. Humanity had awakened completely. The final war had begun. The galaxy trembled as the Elder vessel and its awakened fleets took position. Humanity was no longer hidden. Every ship, every sentinel, every long-buried construct responded to the AI's command with flawless precision. The hunters approached, massive and silent, their forms bending space and light around them, consuming everything they touched. Council fleets hovered behind the humans, powerless to act, witnessing a force far older than any species they knew. The humans inside the vessel felt memories rushing back fully now. They remembered battles that spanned entire star systems, allies who had fallen before time was even measured, and the endless weight of responsibility carried across millennia. Their ancestors had fought alone against the hunters, sacrificing everything to allow younger civilizations to grow in safety. The Elder vessel projected these memories visually across space, showing the Council fleets and the hunters alike what humanity had endured. The hunters recoiled slightly, sensing the strength returning, a power they had long believed erased. Humanity was no longer simply a young species. They were the shield of the galaxy, the last line of defense the universe had known. The humans' hands moved instinctively, guiding the ancient ship systems. Weapons older than any Council technology powered up, not through engines or fuel, but through pure memory and will. The fleets hidden in deep space accelerated, aligning themselves perfectly with the vessel's strategy. Alien fleets that had mocked humanity now hovered helpless, realizing that this species had been shaping their existence long before any of them were born. The Elder AI transmitted instructions across all systems. Formation complete. Defense protocols active. Engage only under command. The humans nodded, though no words were spoken. The first hunter wave arrived, massive and unknowable, distorting space-time as they moved. They lashed out, consuming stars and small systems in their path, but the Elder vessel countered every strike with shields and energy arrays that bent reality. Human fleets, awakened from millennia of slumber, struck back with precision, their weapons old yet deadly, powered by knowledge rather than technology. The Council fleets watched helplessly, realizing they had misjudged humanity completely. Every strike, every maneuver showed a level of understanding and strategy that no current race could replicate. Humans were not only defending, they were teaching. They had learned how to survive against the universe's deadliest threat and now demonstrated it flawlessly. The hunters adjusted their approach, recognizing the strength they faced. Their attacks became chaotic, lacking the inevitability they had shown across galaxies millions of years ago. Humanity's fleets advanced steadily, their formations calculated from experience long forgotten by younger races. The Elder vessel projected a map across space showing the original paths of human fleets from the First War, now overlaid with current positions. It was a choreography of survival and power, ancient yet alive. The hunters hesitated, sensing that the humans were not merely defending, they were reclaiming dominance. Energy ripples surged across the battlefield, bending light and gravity. Some council members whispered in awe, realizing that they were witnessing not a fight, but the resurgence of a force that had shaped the galaxy itself. The humans coordinated without speaking, their instincts and memories guiding the fleets as if centuries of lost time were flowing into the present. The hunters began to falter, their waves breaking against the human shield. Humanity's presence was no longer subtle, they were visible, undeniable, unstoppable. The Elder vessel projected a final signal across all fleets and systems. It was a declaration, simple yet powerful: we are the Elders. We protect. We endure. The galaxy seemed to pause as the words echoed in space. The hunters recoiled, uncertainty rippling through their forms. Humanity had not only revealed itself, they had returned as the first line of defense against extinction. The council fleets, who had once judged and mocked them, now followed quietly, realizing they were protected by something older, wiser, and stronger than any of them could comprehend. The humans moved forward as one, their power fully awakened. This was not the rise of a young species. This was the return of the elders. The galaxy held its breath. Humanity had fully awakened, and the elder vessel led a procession of fleets that stretched across the solar system and beyond. The hunters, massive and incomprehensible, advanced with a fury born of ancient purpose, but now they met resistance they had never anticipated. Human ships, once dormant and forgotten, moved with precision, coordinating as if guided by a single mind. Every energy pulse, every maneuver, every strike was calculated, honed by memory older than the Council itself. The Council fleets hovered behind, helpless but in awe, witnessing the power of a species they had dismissed as weak. Humanity did not attack recklessly. They defended with patience, letting the hunters reveal their strength and flaws. The elder vessel projected star maps, showing strategic points across the galaxy where ancient weapons, hidden fleets, and dormant constructs could awaken to join the battle. One by one, these systems activated, unfolding their mechanisms that had slept for millions of years. Massive structures rose from hidden sectors, energy fields shimmering into existence, forming an intricate lattice of defense. The hunters struck with violence, consuming stars and tearing through spacetime, but the humans anticipated every movement. Their weapons fired not from rage, but from knowledge passed down across millennia. Each strike disrupted the hunters' flow, creating openings for the fleets to advance. The Council Watchers could not comprehend the scale of it. Humanity was no longer a single species. They were an entire defense network, a civilization reborn with a purpose that spanned eternity. Inside the elder vessel, the lead human stood calmly, guiding operations through instinct and memory. The AI fed them information in layers, restoring forgotten tactics, battles, and strategies from before the galaxy had even recorded history. The humans could feel the echoes of their ancestors in every command, every calculation. They remembered standing at the edge of destruction and choosing to hide, to erase themselves, to protect life across the stars. Now, they remembered fully. The hunters hesitated as they encountered unexpected resistance. They had destroyed civilizations before, but never a species that remembered itself fully, a species that had lived through the death of stars and returned unbroken. The elder vessel extended its energy projection, enveloping the outer fleets of the Council and the younger civilizations. A protective shield formed, invisible to the hunters but impenetrable to their attacks. The humans spoke as one through the vessel, their voices carrying across the AI network. "We are the elders. We have returned." The words echoed through space, reaching the hunters and the scattered Council fleets alike. The hunters recoiled, sensing the weight of millennia in that declaration. They struck again, but each attack was met with precision, countered by fleets that moved with a unity impossible for younger species to replicate. The humans were not just fighting, they were teaching, defending, and reclaiming what had been theirs. Hidden fleets from distant sectors, long asleep, now answered the call. Ships built in a forgotten age, capable of moving through the folds of spacetime, joined the battle. The combined force of humanity and the elder vessel formed an unbroken line of defense, holding the hunters at bay while protecting the younger civilizations. The Council watched, finally understanding their mistake. They had underestimated the species they once mocked. They had judged the elders as children, unaware that those children had shaped the galaxy itself. The battle reached a turning point as humanity advanced, pushing the hunters back toward the void from which they had come. Stars flickered and space itself seemed to bend under the sheer presence of human fleets, their power resonating with memory older than galaxies. The elder vessel projected one final image, showing the sacrifices of past generations, the wars fought alone, the civilizations saved, and the choice to hide. Humanity had endured, and now they had returned fully. The hunters, sensing the inevitability of their defeat, began to retreat, their forms folding into the darkness of the void. The humans allowed them to withdraw, knowing the galaxy would be safe, for now. The Council fleets, younger races, and scattered civilizations looked on, their fear replaced by awe. The lead human stepped forward on the deck of the elder vessel, gazing into space. The AI spoke softly, almost reverently. "The elders are restored. Protection of life continues." The human nodded. "We are here," they said. "We were never young. We were always the beginning. Across the galaxy, stars seemed to shine brighter as if recognizing the return of a species older than time. Humanity had risen again, no longer hidden, no longer underestimated. They were the elders, and the universe now knew their truth.